Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about variables in Java. So this is very basic concept. So as a beginner, so variables in Java. See, what is the use of variable in Java? For suppose, okay. So as a human being, addition of 10 and 20. What is addition of 10 and 20? So I'm asking you. So here you are going to remember 10 and you are going to remember 20 in your brain, right? In your brain, first you are going to remember 10 and 20 also you are going to remember in your brain, and you are going to add these 10 and 20, and result also you are going to remember in what your brain with what 30. So here, in order to add these 10 and 20, you should remember this 10 and you should remember 20. So you can access from your brain easily. Okay, but here you should store. For suppose if you want to give same task to the computer, not to your brain, right? Then how to store this 10 and 20 in computer memory? So you cannot access your memory directly. Okay, you can't access your memory directly. So that's why you should represent your memory location. Okay, should represent your memory location by using variable. Okay, you should represent your what memory by using variable. So here variable is what? Symbolic representation of a memory location. Symbolic representation. Symbolic representation of what? Memory location. Okay. So you can represent symbolically a memory location by using a variable. So variable is also called a basic unit of storage in Java program. Okay, basic unit of storage. Why we are calling it a basic unit of storage? Int where, for suppose. So here int is what? A basic unit of storage. How many units? Here 4 bytes. Okay, 4 bytes. For suppose let's say short. Okay, short S. Okay, here S is basic unit of storage. How many bytes? 2 bytes. Like this. Okay. So here variable is a combination of what? Identifier. Okay, combination of identifier and a type. See here int age. Here age is a identifier and this is data type. Okay, age is called identifier. Okay, so age is called identifier or name of the variable, and this is data type of the variable. Okay, so here variable is combination of type and the identifier. Identifier means name of the variable. Okay, name of the variable and an optional initializer. Okay, optional initializer means int age is equal to 20. Here is equal to 20 is what? Initializer. You want to initialize it at the time of declaration, you can initialize. Otherwise, simply you can declare it and initialize whenever you want. Later, int age declare like this and age is equal to 20. You can initialize it later. Okay. In addition, all variables have scope, okay, which defines their visibility and lifetime. I will discuss the scope and lifetime with an example later. So let me discuss much more in detail about the variables. See, declaring a variable. How to declare a variable? See, in Java, all variables must be declared before they can be used. The form of variable. Okay, the form of variable is what? A type identifier is equal to value. Okay, type identifier is equal to value. This is optional. Okay, here also identifier 1, identifier 2, identifier 3 up to so on, identifier n. And if you want to initialize, you can use is equal to value. Already I told in previous slide. Int ABC declare 3 variables here without initialization. Okay, without initializer, simply without initializer. And here you are declaring values, variables with initialization. Okay, and byte is equal to 22, and double pi is equal to 3.14. Actually, this double is what constant. So if you want to make it as constant, you can use final. So already I discussed about this final keyword and already uploaded the that video also. If you want, you can see that final variable video. Okay, yeah. So this is okay. So here, what if you want to initialize variable, you can initialize. And if you want to declare a variable initialize later, you can initialize it later. And you can also initialize a variable at the time of compilation dynamically. Dynamic initialization of variables. See here. See, although the preceding examples have used only constants as initializers, Java allows variable to be initialized dynamically using any expression valid at the time the variable is declared. Okay. So here you can write some expression. Okay. You can write some expression. By using that expression, you can initialize the variable dynamically. I'll show you with an example. See here. Yeah. See here int a b. Sorry, double a and b. So these are the values. Here I want to calculate the hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. So these are the two input values we required, A and B. So here A is equal to 3.0 and B is equal to 4.0. Now here C is initialized, depends on this what expression. Okay, this expression is evaluated at the time of execution, not at the time of compilation. Okay, at the time of execution, not at the time of compilation. So here a square plus b square, and here I'm going to find out square root of this a square and b square, a square plus b square. Okay, so math is a predefined class which is available in java.lang package. You no need to import that package automatically. Java.lang is the by default package for every Java program. So sqrt is the what predefined static function which is available in the math.sqrt. Sorry, math class. Okay. So like this, you can initialize what dynamically any variable by using some valid expression. So this is what some expression. Yeah. Now see, try to execute this program. See, hypotenuse is not fine. Let me change this value. See here, now hypotenuse is changed. So like this. So you can initialize a variable dynamically at the time of execution by using a valid expression. Next, scope and the lifetime of variables. What is scope? Scope is nothing but simply a region of what a program the variable is available for use or access. Okay, region of program the variable is available for use or access. Available for use. In which region you are able to access in your program a variable. See, the scope of variable is refers to the area or region or the section of the program in which the variable is available for use or can be accessed. Okay, in which portion or region or section or area the variable is available for use. That is called scope. Okay, we'll discuss one by one. Okay, scope and lifetime for different variables. We have three types of variables now: local variable, instance variable, static variable, like this. So I will discuss them. What is what is the scope of every variable, every type of variable? Okay. So scope of variable is nothing but what it refers for areas or sections of the program in which variable is available for use or can be accessed. See, in simple terms, region of the program, the variable is available for use. And lifetime of a variable is indicates how long the variable stays alive in memory. Okay, how long a variable stays alive in memory. Okay, I'll tell you. Depends on what its type. It is available in the memory. Okay, with a different time constraints. Okay, I'll tell you in detail in slides. Okay, see here local variables. So local variable means you should what declare inside a method or block. Local variable means see local variable which are not instance or class variables are known as local variables. These are declared within the method. Okay, within method or block. Within method or block. Here block is nothing but it can be a what a for loop or what a while loop. So in while loop is one block and for loop is also one block. So if you declare any variable inside what a method or for loop or while loop, those type of variables are called local variables. Okay. So this local variables are destroyed once this what method execution is finished or for loop execution or while loop execution is finished. Once the statements which are you have written in method or for loop or while loop, so once these statements execution is finished, then these local variables get destroyed. Okay, and you can access this what variable within the method or within the for loop or within the while loop where you have declared it. So where in which it is declared. So if you declare any method inside of the method, you should access inside of the method. And if you declare any variable inside of the for loop, you should use it. What is the region within the for loop only you can access. Okay, if you declare within while loop, you should access within the while loop only. If you try to access outside of the while loop or outside of the for loop, you will get an error. And if you declare method inside of, if you declare variable inside of the method, you cannot access outside of the method. Okay. So this is what a scope. Within block, it is declared. Okay, scope. Okay, so scope is what within block it is declared. So you can access inside the method. Okay, where in which it is declared. Okay, or inside of the block in which it is declared. Okay, and a lifetime. So lifetime is until control leaves the block. Already I told no. So once your control, okay, leaves what the block means once these instructions in the method are finished, so the memory allocated to the local variable gets destroyed. Okay, so same in for loop and while loop. And instance variable. So instance variable is associated with an object. So every object has its local copy of instance variable. Okay, local copy of instance variable. Every object has its own instance variables. So here instance variable is associated with an object. And these instance variables declared outside of the method, inside of the class, outside the method. So if you declare inside, then it is not instance. Okay. So outside the method and inside the class. See a variable in which, which is declared inside class, but declared outside of any method. And blocks is known as what instance variable. Instance variables are associated with an object. Scope is throughout class except in the static methods. So in class, in your class, you may have static methods also. So you cannot access what a non-static variable means instance variable you cannot access in inside of the static method. Okay, inside static method you cannot access instance variables. Lifetime is until already I told no this object is associated with the instance variable associated with an object no. So until this object destroys, okay. So this instance variables can't be destroyed. See, until object of the class stays in the memory. Until the object of the class stays in the memory. So until this object destroys, instance variable can't be destroyed. Next, static variable. See, static variable which is declared inside the class outside a method. But here we should use keyword static. Okay, we should use the keyword static. Okay, known as class or static variable. Class or static variable. So the static variable is common to all objects. This is common to all objects. But instance variables are not like that. Okay, every variable, every instance variable, every object has its own copy of instance variable. Okay, every object has its own copy of instance variable. Okay, its own copy of instance variable. Okay, but here uh, all objects have same copy of the static variable. Okay, same copy of static variable. So if any object change this static variable, then that is applied to all objects in the class. Okay, scope is throughout the class. Okay, you can access what anywhere. There is no restrictions to access this static variable. Okay, lifetime is until end of the program. Okay, so once program execution is finished, the memory allocated to the static variable gets what deallocated. Okay, so this is what types of variables and their scope and lifetime. Okay, now let me discuss with examples. So see here, number one, number two, these are the instance variables. These are declared outside the method and inside the class without static keyword. And this is static keyword, sorry, static variable. So I declared outside of the method, inside of the class with static keyword. Okay, this is class variable or static variable. And local variables. So here int a, b. Okay, so int a, b. These two are called local variables. Okay, parameters. Okay, of a method are also what local variables. Okay, so num is equal to a, num1, num2. Okay, num1 is equal to a, num2 is equal to b, and here I am returning a plus b. Okay, so here you are returning. For suppose, if you want to access this a, b outside of the method, definitely you will get an error. Why? Because its scope is within the classroom. Okay, see here, um, simply let me do one thing. Simply, what I will do is here I'm changing void add. Okay, void add here you no need to return anything. Simply you are assigning a and b values to num1 and num2. Okay, now what I'm doing is here obj dot add a right. See, simply add of 10 comma 20 I'm passing. So this 10 is get stored into a, and in b, okay, you are passing what 20. Okay, now you are assigning number one and number two. Okay, with a and b values. Now here simply num1 is num1 is equal to num1 is equal to what num1 num1. Okay, okay. So here obj data. You cannot access directly this number inside of the static. You should use object. Okay, obj dot number. Copy, paste. Num2. Okay. So num2 is equal to num2. Okay. But if you try to, okay, if you try to display A and B here, okay, so simply obj dot A, you will get an error. See, you will get an error. See, create field A in type var types, create constant in type var types. Why? Because it's a scope within the block. See, here you declared num1 and num2. You are accessing inside of the add method and inside of the main method. You are not getting any error. Num1 with respect to num1 and num2. But here A, see, you are not able to access. Why? Because it's a scope within the class. sorry, within the method. Okay, so this is the what difference between instance variable, static variable, and local variable. Okay. Now, what I want to discuss a little more about static variable and instance variable. Okay. So here I don't want to discuss about local variable. Okay, I want to discuss little more in detail about static and instance. Already I told. So objects, instance variables, objects have its own local copy of the what instance variable. Okay, but static variables, all objects have same copy of the static variable. So when to use a variable as static? Okay, so see, for suppose class student. Okay, so class student. So student has name, right? Student name is equal to name. What I will do is I will initialize this later. Name private string name. Next private int age. See here private int age, private int age, and here private string college name. Okay. String college name. Now, what I'm doing is I'm initializing these by using generate constructor using fields. Yeah. So by using constructor, I'm initializing these values. Yeah. Next, I want to return public string method I'm overriding. So to display the information of the student, uh, whenever you display an object of the student. So already discussed about this two-string method. So if you want, you can go through that video for a better plan. Okay. So here name plus age plus college name. So college name, like this. Okay. Now see student student obj1 is equal to new student of okay, new student of Anand 25. College name is XYZ. For suppose XYZ, copy paste here. Mohan 27 uh, 27 and XYZ. So here both students are belongs to the same college, but their name and ages are different. Right? Their name and ages are different. Okay. Now here see OBJ2. Okay. OBJ2 here sys out OBJ1. Copy and paste OBJ2. Okay. Now what happened in this case? What happened in this case? So whenever you create OBJ1, one object is created in memory. So let me represent it by using paint. See here. So here OBJ1 1 and here OBJ2 here name is Anand its own local copy of obj1, 25 and xyz. Here Mohan, 27 xyz. So here common is college name, right? But name in, okay, college name is common. College name common to the what obj1 and obj2. But this name and ages are different from each other. Okay, but you are taking it as instance variable, right? So that's why. So if you give this xyz a college name to obj1, that is not reflected to obj2. Why? Because these two are what what separate for obj1 and obj2. Because so every time, okay, you create an object. For suppose in your class you have obj 60 students. For every student, this xyz is same. But every time memory is allocated for this xyz. Why? Because every instance variable has what a separate local copy with respect to its object, right? So xyz, let's say here Stravia, for suppose Stravia 27 xyz, like this. Okay. So every time you are allocating separate memory for xyz, even every object has same collision. So what we have to do in this case? Simply, okay, whatever the variable you think it as common to every object, simply declare it as static. Simply declare it as static. And here, what you need to do is, so here already you know the class college name. No? So at the time of declaration, only keep it as explicit, and you know need to give this college name here. Okay, college name here. Okay. Yes. Now see, simply give name and age. Ignore class. See now, with respect to obj1, with respect to obj2. See Mohan xyz and what Mohan 27. Okay, Mohan 27. See xyz xyz. Now in memory representation is what? In memory representation is what happened here. So here this xyz is not part of any object. Simply it is belongs to class. It will be what xyz separately, and it is common to obj1 and obj2. Okay, I'll tell you whether it is common to what all or not. For suppose here obj2 trying to change this what obj1 dot college name, college uh, college college name to is equal to some value. College name is equal to ABC. What happened here? Change visibility. Okay, okay, okay. So here you declared it as what, private, no? So let me remove private for the time. For the time, let me remove this as private. Yeah, now see, obj1 dot college name. I'm changing with respect to obj1, but it is changing for both. For suppose if you change copy, you change just name with respect to obj1. Here Anand, no? So here I'm changing it to Shenno. Obj1 dot. What happened? Okay. So here name. Actually, we need to what, create sector and get us for this. Okay. No issues. So name is equal to Shenno. Now what happened? See, name you are changing with respect to obj1. Shenno. it is not reflected what obj2. But if you change college name with respect to obj1, even it is changing to with respect to obj2 also. Okay, with respect to obj2 also. Why? Because this is static variable. This is what a static variable. So if any object change is static variable, then that is what a common to all. So that's why while changing this what a static variable, so you should take care of it. Okay. Thanks for watching video. Please subscribe my channel.